morning, guys. Welcome to Vikyap podcast. This is the final one. So, yeah, welcome. Today we have Yeshi Shah, our senior alumni of our college, and she has been very proficient and very vocal about her acting skills when she used to be our senior, and we love her. So, today we have her on board, and yeah, we'll start with a brief introduction of her by her. So, yeah, Yeshi, if you want to introduce everybody about you.
Hi guys. First of all, it's an honor to it's like a full circle thing, but yes. Uh, second thing, okay, so a little about me. Yes, I'm from SCMC. I specialize in advertising, and then in our college they encourage us, encourage me mandate hota hai कि go and do an internship, like the industry internship. So I always knew because I wanted to act. I always wanted to be associated with the same company as Filter Copy, as Dice Media, and all of that, and that's Pocket Aces. So somehow I did some jugaad and I got to do, thanks to our college, I got to do an internship over there. It was a 3 month internship, but I didn't exactly get to work with Filter Copy. Where I did work was Clout. So Clout is their recent wing that opened up in 2020. It's Pocket Aces ka ek division. Um, which basically dabbles into influencer marketing. So it's a talent management division of Pocket Aces. So as Pocket Aces, it has multiple things like Dice Media, which is the content creation, which is the web series bit of it production company. Filter Copy, which is more of the short type content, and Cloud, which is the talent management division. So I was associated with talent management, and we what we do is we now have a roster of about 120 artists, uh,
Okay.
but like a few famous names like Viraj Gilani,
Hmm.
Ayush Mehra, all of those people we used to manage. Back then we also like SAS was also with Cloud, so all of them, right? So yeah, so that's how I dabbled into this, and honestly, it's a completely different world. Now when I was done with my degree, and obviously the people over there, they were amazing to work with and
Yeah.
everything. So I just joined back as the full time
Hmm.
employee. Now, however, I have recently quit because I decided that I want to go full swing with my passion for acting. But yes, I mean, that was definitely the biggest learning curve I've had in the past 2 years.
Oh, that's great.
That's
Yeah.
really impressive, honestly. So, what is the current influencer marketing scenario like out there, especially working with such big names that you have worked with?
Okay, so I would like you to be a little more specific in terms of when you say influencer marketing scenario, what exactly are you talking about over there?
So, like in general, like let's just say you worked in the talent acquisition division, and now you yourself are, let's just say, an influencer or an aspiring actor, right? So, between the juxtaposition position between the two, like how is it like managing actors versus now you are one? So, like, what is the experience
Correct.
with that?
Okay, got you. So yes, so now I'll tell you. So there are two completely different worlds. Okay. Now when I got into all of this, I thought कि यार बढ़िया networking हो जाएगी,
Hmm.
and all of that. But I also thought that you know while I'll do this, I can somehow. So it's like I was on the other side of things that I wanted to be. Okay,
Yeah.
that's something I came to realize once I started working for these people, right?
Hmm.
Like I wanted to be on the other side of things, whereas while I was working with them, I was making things happening with them. And as an influencer, as an influencer marketing agency and as a firm, there is one thing. So obviously, since 2020, especially since COVID, there has been a boom. Okay, like in terms of content, like you see content
Yeah.
creators rise up. But
Hmm.
what a lot of people don't know is this industry is so freaking lucrative, and it is one of the best paying industries right now.
Hmm.
Okay, like
Hmm.
तुम्हें लगता होगा कि तुम्हें एक स्टोरी देख रहे हो. Okay, take any XYZ influencer you like, and they've just said that I use this Maybelline blah 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 lipstick, it's amazing. Or they portray it in a way where they've done something like an ask me anything, and as a reply to that, she's saying that hey, something like use this lipstick. She has 1 million followers. Every story,
Hmm.
at least like 20K people see their story. I'm giving like the minimum engagement right now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, 20K message, if you are following this influencer who also happens to be a celebrity,
Hmm.
you would want to buy. Next time you are in a Maybelline store, you would want to buy that. Now, what people underestimate is how much brands are willing to pay for this organic, but not so organic thing.
Hmm.
People charge like lakhs of rupees for one story.
One
That is
story.
something
That's
no one is
crazy.
aware of. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, तो तुम मुझे बोल रहे हो कि वो स्टोरी मैं देख रही हूँ, तुम डाल रहे हो तो तुम्हें उसके 1 लाख रुपए, राइट? सो दैट इज जस्ट द
Hmm.
बिगिनिंग. This is a very very big industry and a very well paying one at that. So if you have a good niche, you have a great audience and all of that, then it turns out to be something that you don't need a job. भूल जाओ ये तुम्हारी सैलरी जो जॉब्स होती है. दिस इज समथिंग
Hmm.
यू कैन डू, यू कैन dabble into it yourself, and something that will, like, you will get a minimum of 8 lakhs per month, like that sort of job.
Hmm.
And it's not even a job, it is something you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Now where we come in as an influencer marketing agency is we are basically the connect between. So with cloud we had like several divisions. So we had a growth team, we had a business manager team. Business manager team was one that I was part of,
Okay.
and there's a PR team, and there's a casting team. So those were the
Hmm.
four departments it was divided in. Now, as a business manager, I used to manage some ebook and talents myself. Okay. Now, what we have to do is everything holistically, from approaching the brand to, obviously, now that they're a set influencer, they already have like a set niche of like a 200K 300K following, right?
Hmm.
Now there will be several brands that approach them, so I am there, like, contact my manager, blah blah blah. But long story short, what we do is we connect them to brands, and whatever the process of the entire coordination, execution, everything from A to Z, from sending across scripts, coordinating those scripts, organically incorporating it while making sure that their audience, because say you are used to seeing a particular type of content for an
Yeah.
XYZ creator. Now the
Hmm.
brand
Hmm.
would love it to be an ad. They would love
Hmm.
for it to be an ad, but that won't work neither for the influencer. It won't give the ROI that the brand is expecting as well. Right? So we need to
Yeah.
find a middle ground. So we also help them find the middle ground. Then we had a growth team that help them create strategy of how they can reach more audiences, tap into more things. Then there are several events that happen. Meta holds so many events and
Hmm.
a lot of those things. So I mean, when I started out as this, like, as working in this thing, I had no idea that it is so vast and it is
Hmm.
so big. And then you think that it might be a small thing, but honestly, pretty big. But all you need, and honestly, no, all you need is a good idea of what works for you, what
Yeah.
works for your audience,
Hmm.
and a good setup, a good camera. And I'm not saying, go buy a DSLR.
Hmm.
Aajkal iPhone, even Androids for that matter, like, just need to, like, it just needs to be that. And you
Yeah.
can start off with something that can help you earn a big audience and a lot of money. And coming back to your question, where the juxtaposition of me now doing this versus, so I think definitely when I did work in that influencer marketing agency that I did, and I'm very very grateful for them, that I learned how to talk to brands. Like right
Hmm.
now, I am going on shoots myself, right? But now I know what are things like. Okay, we are not in a ideal world where every brand will, say ki हाँ, तुम इतना कर दो, we'll pay you so much, but they actually, lead up to it. So there is an email confirmation that is involved, and certain
Yeah.
things, certain steps that, like, there are checklists that you
Hmm.
do, which
Hmm.
makes, like, all of those things. So it helped me gain an understanding of everything, how pricing works around here, how reach works, how engagement works, and everything, and how
Hmm.
everything is like a domino effect. Right?
Yeah.
Like you do one thing right, and everything falls like in place, or everything
Hmm.
falls apart like in that. So yeah, that's what it is.
No, it's fair. So essentially, coming back to your point, you stated that people, like whether it be equipment or in general the type of content influencers are approached by in terms of the companies that they approach them. So I had a question about the ethics of influencers. So essentially nowadays we see a lot of gambling companies are approaching influencers, right? Whether it be online gambling or apps they have. So for
Like
an
betting
influen
apps.
yeah, so for an influencer, if they are getting a company on board for an influencer that's just starting off, right? They need money, whether it's for the infrastructure they need for shooting or whatever. So in terms of ethics, like if a company that's promoting something that they know is not fitting for their audience, or even if it fits somehow it's not good for them, what do you think they should do? Like whether they take the money which should help them be a better creator down the line, or should they stay with their ethics and stick to the small audience they have as of now?
See, now, if I've got your question right, is your question was about, whether an influencer who's just growing out as to
Hmm.
becoming a bigger one should take something that they're not ethically on, in terms with, like, they don't agree with it,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, so few things. Now, if it was an ideal world, then yes, right? But now everybody's after money.
Yeah.
Like, you would also probably do something. that you didn't want to do, but it's paying out well, and you know कि in the longer run इतना कुछ नहीं हो रहा है कि अगर 2-3 लोगों ने ये कर लिया तो मुझे इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Now there are
Right.
two approaches to this. Okay, now some people who are very, like, you know, for them their moral compass is very high, right? So now we have a lot of set of those sort of influencers, you know, from starting only they'll tell us ki listen, if there are any products that say, you know, fair skin lightening products hote ya aise kuch hoge, I don't want to promote, I don't care if I lose that money, I simply don't want to do that, right? So
Yeah.
that is something
Hmm.
which we keep in mind while pitching them to brands, or if brands approach us for them, we'll straight away take it as a no for them, because that is something they're very strict. Like, you know, we don't want to promote any gambling thing. Or for some influencers, it could also be something like, you know, condom brands or something.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to promote those things. Now that's not anything to do with ethic, but that is to do with their
Yeah, their
company
personal
level,
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But yeah, so we do have influencers who, you know, state this outright while they sign with us, that, you know, what is something that absolutely a do not for them, that this is something they don't want to indulge in, then yes. But on the other hand, that we have influencers like आने दे, क्या फर्क, पैसा है ना,
Yeah. Fair.
आने दे, right? But also then we make sure that now it's also on the product, that is like, you know, obviously I'm not saying that they will promote something like outright as key to it. And now
Yeah.
when there's certain products that come in, like say gambling and all, itna I have not dealt with personally. Like we outright as an agency also, we make sure that we don't indulge in all of those things. We don't entertain a lot of those things. Even if it brings in a lot of money, we make it a point that, you know, we don't endorse something that can affect, because see, in the longer run, also for the PR of the particular influencer, that, you know, takes a toll. If you do promote something that, you know, can be
Of course.
dicey in future,
Yeah.
can, like अभी तुम इतने बड़े नहीं हो, but तुम आगे आकर तुम अभी वेब सीरीज कर रहे हो, तुम shows कर रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो, तो तुमको पता है that's how it works, you know. People will go back, they will say कि, oh, इसने तो ये किया, like, you know, the Bimmel thing that happened where Akshay Kumar said that, you know, he will not do
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
Then he did
Hmm.
end up doing an ad like that, and now he's Akshay Kumar, right? But I mean, what I'm saying is, with how influencer marketing is growing right now, like you see Kusha doing so many shows right now, and web series and stuff like that. So the line between, you know, you being an influencer and being an outright celebrity has really blurred.
Yeah.
It's giving more
Yeah.
people chances. But when it comes to ethics, it really depends. It varies from a person to person sort of thing. Like for some people, like I have worked with fitness influencers, and honestly, she was like, "Listen, I'm not gonna name her, but I'm saying she was like, कि I will not work with any brand that I don't personally use. I don't care कि
Okay.
मेरा पैसा अगर जा रहा है तो जाने दो. For me, that is not the priority. But what I tell my audience is my priority. If my audience goes for this, then it should be something that I personally could use. That is the sort of
Right.
moral compass she had. And I respect that, right? I wouldn't be like, dude, just paisa hai, le.
Huh.
Like I would respect what her choice is. But again, it boils down to what their choice is. And also when they do promote it, say if this is something that does not lie in what their moral compass spectrum is, but they do promote it, they will make sure that it's not in a way where it adversely affects their audience. They would
Of
make it a
course.
point, because they do realize the impact they have on people.
Yeah. True.
That's
Fair.
fair. Also, what do you think, like, what kind of people, like, are fit for working in an influencer marketing, like, making it as a career?
So I would say it's literally anybody, because देखो इसमें क्या है कि yes, you need to, first of all, one thing very important is you need to have some background on how brands work, like, or you know, how people work. You should either be good at the people skills part or the brands part, and if you're good at both, then perfect, right? Now I've had, like, I personally, when I was a media student. However, I did one internship with this another influencer agency, like a long time back, called The Collective, right? Now I did that, which is why they chose me, but that is not their criteria for choosing people. They don't mind experimenting people who have a little experience into any of this. Now, see, it's very important. Now, like I mentioned, mere department, maybe there are so many things, right? Like there are so many departments. Like if you're fit for this particular department or the other one, that will that will be based on your performance, right? Based on how you can. Now, I'll tell you one very important lesson I learned. Now, it's very lucrative when people tell you कि you'll be managing the people you love following on Instagram. Like
Right.
say an Essas or a Viraj. I used to love their content, but I still do, by the way. But I mean, what one of the one of the I think the best learnings that I did have was, if you act like a fan, they will treat you like a fan.
Yeah.
If you And that is something you can't have in a professional relationship like this. Because once you act like a fan, they will always treat you like one. There will be no professionalism over there. But whereas if you act like a professional, you don't fangirl all over them. And you there's I'm the bestest friends with all of these guys.
Hmm.
I've left the
Right.
agency, but I'm great friends with Essas. I'm great friends with Viraj. And all of that because when the first day when I met them, I was like, oh my god, guys, oh my god.
Yeah.
ऐसे नहीं किया. There
Hmm.
has to
Hmm.
be a certain level of professionalism. However, not a lot of people get this. I mean, अगर मैं तुम्हारे सामने कटरीना कैफ को लाऊं और मैं तुम्हें बोलूं कि Sayam be professional.
Yeah.
I am very sure you'd be like, fuck it, dude.
It's
You know,
fine.
like you'd be like, let it be, dude. I don't care. This is the one golden chance I get to be with Katrina.
Huh.
You really expect me
Hmm.
to be professional? You don't. So when for those people, maybe then a business manager role wouldn't fit. But we
Hmm.
have a different department. Like as I said, right? Influencer marketing is not just one thing. It is
Hmm.
a series of things. It's a whole holistic approach. So
Hmm.
you can, and there are different approaches. Like you can be on the brand side of things. You can be on the client side of things as well, right? Like
Yeah.
the client servicing part of it. Where you work for
Hmm.
an agency who reaches out to people like this, or you can be on the other side of this, which is where you manage influencers yourself, or you can work on creating strategies. Now, say you are a content creator, you yourself create content, so you have a fair idea of what works on Instagram, what the trends are on Instagram. Then you can be part of the growth team, which helps them with writing their content, which
Hmm.
is also very
Hmm.
important because most of the times these people, some people who are like very high, they will not bother writing it. They will ask,
Yeah.
as an agency, they expect you to help them out with scripts as well,
Hmm.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Just or to some extent you do, but then you will be like, just hire a content writer,
Yeah.
which is where the content writer industry also comes into the picture.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
right now these guys are so busy doing shoots and everything, then they just hire people who write it for them. Not
Hmm.
everybody does that because they know what works best for themselves. Like अगर तुम
Hmm.
external को
Hmm.
भी hire कर लो, at the end of the day तुम्हें पता है ना कि तुम्हारा content क्या है. So the final say they will do the refining and everything, but maybe the basic structure के लिए they do have a team in place, and I think that actually helps them become really efficient with sort of brands that they do with.
Hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. I mean, yeah, it makes sense because influencer marketing, like we talk about it as like one entity, whereas it's a lot of separate departments that build up to it.
Right.
So, in terms of when considering it's essentially for an influencer, the battle between authenticity and promotion, right? Ki even if they're promoting things, they have to be authentic, or they choose not to be authentic if they are fixated on the promotion part, right? So what do you think, like now what I have noticed, the trend is now that brands have realized that advertising on Instagram through reels that feel organic, that don't really feel like ads, has like brings heavy ROIs. Because now on Instagram, like let's just say Vishnu Kaushal, right, he makes ads that are essentially skits, and there's the bottom left where there's a promotion, right? So yeah, so what I feel like brands have realized that, and now instead of hiring people, they themselves are making content on Instagram for their products that is somewhat of a skit. Whether it be like I saw Doki, which is like a chicken jerky brand that they promote solely through Instagram Reels. So do you think because of that now more Instagram influencers are trying to get into mainstream and more brands are coming into Instagram?
But I also think that the whole fact that you can see sponsored, like paid ad, sponsored promotion, like it's all over whenever
Yeah.
a brand is paying someone to do it for them. That kind of like takes away from the whole fact that, oh, it's not their content that they actually want to make. They're getting paid for it, so you just skip through it. Like I would skip through it a lot of times.
Tell you what, so there are many levels to this. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, as an agency, there are a few brands that mandate ki we can't, because of their legalities or whatever, they'll say ki we need to have the paid partnerships in
Yeah.
place, or something like a paid watermark, or we need a logo. But as an agency, we have a rule that we will not include any end slates or any logos or anything. But
Hmm.
exactly what you said, the audience is not stupid. The audience
Yeah.
is smart.
Hmm.
So the audience does realize it, right? कि अच्छा अभी तुम्हें पेड दिख गया है, तुम्हें पेड पार्टनरशिप दिख रहा है, तुम नहीं करोगे, तुम कर लोगे. But what you don't know is most of the content, now brands also realize that, right? So if it does not bother their legalities, like you see Kusha Kapila, you see Vishnu
Hmm.
Kaushal, you see, so that's what experience does to you. As an
Yeah.
influencer, you when you're a newbie, you don't have the experience of seamlessly incorporating your product.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But people who do that, they get the best brands because they get the best ROI. Now you see Viraj ka ek reel. I was also part of that reel. It's called uh, Gujaratis on dates. It was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Yeah,
Tinder
yeah,
ad.
yeah.
yeah.
It was a Tinder ad. Tinder paid him an XYZ amount
Hmm.
for that. But that's where he kills it, right?
Hmm.
Because nobody knows it's an ad, but you're watching through the whole reel. Yeah, Dharna ko le lo, yaar. She's so good with all of this, right? I don't
Yeah,
know if you've seen Dharna's videos.
we have, we have.
She's extremely great with what she does. So, for example, she will do this whole skit and then she'll be like, यार सिर दुख रहा है ये बाम लगा लेती हूँ झंडू बाम एक सेकंड आएगा but you don't know कि तुमने already 30 सेकंड of वो वीडियो देख लिया अभी तुम you
हाँ.
want to see now which is why also what these guys do is they will seamlessly incorporate in कहीं वीडियो के बीच में फिर एंड में अगेन उनका एलिमेंट आ जाता है they will not end it on a product selling so
Yeah.
that is one thing but now say there are now that also depends from each of an influencer if an influencer is a comedy influencer like either of these guys then it's different but if it's a beauty influencer then that's what they do यार मतलब वो लोग तो प्रोडक्ट और फैशन और
Yeah,
ये
yeah.
सभी प्रमोट करेंगे ना तो उनके लिए थोड़ा एडिश चल जाता है
हाँ.
because their influencers also follow them for a get ready with me
Hmm.
and that is there are innovative ways to get that done you know some people have the most aesthetic videos of all time I don't know how they pull that off but they really do I want to see that like Arya Ki June and people like that
Hmm.
and they do things like that you don't stop because you know
Yeah.
that video is got something that wants you to follow them in the first place
Hmm.
right so that's the thing so it varies from brand to brand about whether you know you do the paid partnership thing the logos or not but sometimes you don't even know that you've seen the whole video and it was a brand
Yeah.
so that's where the game that's the game changer right influencers who are able to do that and then agencies who are able to lock them brands
Yeah.
which don't really mandate on getting those things so it's you know it's a whole like a collaborative effort from everybody
Hmm.
that's the whole game changer
Yeah,
Speaking
exactly
of
that.
game changer, I think
Yeah,
we
I
should.
just like one last thing I have to say. Like that's the thing, right? Let's just again Vishnu Kaushal if I take like with his ads, it's like it's a 30-minute normal skit and randomly he'll put in so I'll use this smartwatch to do XYZ thing, right? But for me it's like when I start watching, as soon as the first joke lands, I'll like it. Because that's how our mechanics are now. We get on a reel. If it's from an influencer we like, I sometimes like the reel before watching it even. So once the first joke lands, I find it funny, I like it, and then even if the promotion comes, I'm not gonna unlike it. Yeah.
yeah you're not you're like unless you're very petty and you're like hut
Yeah.
that is your propaganda
And with us now we understand like initially like when you're younger, okay, ads are not good, but now we understand that this is a very big mechanic of it. Ads are essential because that's how influencers get money to create more content and you want to support them.
now obviously the audience is also divided now the next time I
Yeah.
see an influencer saying you know use this XYZ hair serum for your hair like I have frizzy hair so they'd be like you know use this serum it's good now for a minute I will question everything I'd like is this just a paid promotion she's doing
Yeah.
or is this something so then she will put up a hashtag not sponsored but there are some things that are genuine now what you don't know is there are genuine reviews and then brands will send them PR products like
Yeah.
ब्रांड कभी मौका नहीं छोड़ेगा अगर उनको दिख रहा है कि तुम कुछ अच्छा प्रमोट कर रहे हो तुम्हारा अच्छा व्यू है वो तुमको प्रोडक्ट्स भेज देगा एंड अभी मैं तुमको कल एक प्रोडक्ट भेजूं तो तुम नहीं डालोगे उसकी स्टोरी अगर तुम्हें वो प्रोडक्ट अच्छा लगता है मैंने तुम्हें नाइकी की स्नीकर्स भेज दी तो तुम नहीं भेजेगा नहीं डालेगा स्टोरी ऑफ कोर्स डालेगा ना
Yeah.
so that's how it also works so then that's the whole PR aspect of the brand so even brands are very vigilant but so are influencers so that's the common ground that
Fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, so we have talked enough. I think it was like very insightful actually getting the industry experience, like how it works, especially from someone who has seen both sides of it. Because like even if for us like there are people who want to be a part of the business, the company aspect, and there are people who want to be part of the freelancing, actual acting aspect. So getting an even balance of both was genuinely like insightful.
So we'll start with the game now.
Yeah.
So basically the game is that we have around 3-4 really weird products slash services and we'll tell you the products and you have to tell us which influencer do you think fits for the particular like to endorse it. Okay?
yeah this is something I used to do in the agency also so then I go for it
Okay. So the first one is Maggie scented candle.
okay so So for Maggie and candles, so we have a lot of food vloggers basically
Yeah.
who do bizarre reacts to bizarre things, like how beach mein Fanta wali Maggie bana dete the and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So Maggie scented candles, I can see there's this guy called the Kurta guy. So basically what he does is all the bizarre types of idlis na, he will do a react to those idlis. So similarly, he'll be like, dude, like what is this Maggie scented candle? Like
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
a food blogger like that, or we can have any mainstream, like say this Ranveer Brar or somebody like that also just reacting, because that will also help them explore a different niche where they're reacting to something so bizarre, something
Yeah,
like that.
fair.
Okay,
Cool.
next.
I'll go with the mood sensing socks.
Oh, mood sensing socks. Okay, so basically there are a lot of couple creators who also make it big, because you know that they make couples to like they make content together. So I used to manage one of them called Rohit and Kanupriya. So then that would be something pretty cool, I think, as a collab with them, because they could just sense what their other better half's mood is and can avoid banters,
Of course.
accordingly. And
Yeah.
maybe other people who also do comedy, like say Kusha or somebody, who can make the whole skit around how you can avoid people based on just looking
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
good.
the last one is pet fortune telling. So like a fortune teller for your pet.
Yeah.
Fortune teller for your pet. Okay, so I think obviously this would be like Sakshi Shivdasani would be crazy, like a good pet for
Oh
them.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
she's got a pet,
Yeah, sushi, yeah.
Sushi, and she's got her own quirky way of doing things. And again, I think like Ayush Mehra, he has a dog. He and Ashna have a dog together. So then even them, like, that could be a more of a wholesome version of it. But
Yeah.
even Kusha, because even Kusha has a pet. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Fair.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fair.
in the end, we would just like to ask, what do you think is like the future of this influencer marketing scenario?
I think after one point it will be very saturated, because every other person wants to be an influencer right now. And
Yeah.
I mean, as much as brands would like to give in money, I'm not sure with the sort of saturation that this is, and with the way that people learn things, it will still be there, but there will be like an evolution in terms of what we understand influencer marketing to be right now. The definition will be changed in the coming
Yeah,
years.
of course. Yeah.
Maybe it will be something very different, because we will have to evolve. But like
Hmm.
as like पहले के जमाने से advertisements क्या होती थी, तो आज advertisements क्या है, तो
Yeah.
it is a part and parcel of advertising.
Fair.
Fair, yeah.
True. I mean, yeah, of course, that makes sense, and I think we are done
Done
with the
with our
podcast. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on board, and yeah, like whatever you said, like apart, like even the game portion being actually a part of the industry was genuinely insightful, and yeah,
We really appreciate you giving us an insight of what our future looks like after graduation, I
In
guess.
one
Very
month.
बढ़िया,
In one
बस job
month.
Yeah.
करना, पर बहुत जल्दी भी job मत कर लेना कि तुम छोड़ दो.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
Shall learn.
Yeah, okay, we wish you luck in terms of whatever you do in the future. Will only be the
Yes.
best. And yeah, thank you for coming. And
Thank
yeah,
you for
have a
coming.
good dinner with the family.
And
Okay, thank you.
okay, this is Anavi and this is Sayam signing off.
Signing off, guys. Yeah, so
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.